will be going through memberships. I have a feeling this is going to take us a few days, which is totally fine because memberships is truly something you can't do it in a few days. If you're really setting it up, it's a long-term business model. It is, you put your thinking into it, you put all the stuff that is going to go into it. It's not going to be, contrary to what some might say, oh, quick, you can get this up and going in 24 hours. Yes, you can. However, put the planning in on the front end and it will make not just your life much better, but it will make your people's life so much better. So I am going to share, I'm just going to show you this. Where's my screen? Because I use, in addition to Trello, I use MindMeister. I'm a huge mind mapping fan. So this is, can you guys see PBK membership design?
Yes.
Okay, so this is one of the courses that's inside PBK. This is the one that is unique to helping you design a membership site. So when you're in here, and this is where I want to give you guys the overview of all the different pieces, because I think as you have questions, you'll see how they fit into different layers. So the first thing that I'm going to walk you guys through today is, this is a membership model right for you, because too many people skip this step and don't understand really what their membership is going to be, because they've taken someone else's course that says, hey, you need to do this, 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 and this, and you need to, show up here, 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 and here. Just like Kajabi, the way that I teach it to anybody, it's building blocks. But just like there's a million ways we can come up with the number 12, 1 plus 11, 2 plus 10, 24 divided by 2, your membership model is simply a recurring payment business model. That is the last point of commonality amongst any of us. They have to be uniquely designed to your style of being a host, being a creator of a membership, running the membership, and also the people that are going to come into your membership. So we'll go through that today, which is, we'll go through a little bit of the mind map, but it really is looking at, is this right for me? Or can I just say, you know what, that's a really great business model for somebody else, but it's not right for me for right now. Then you move into designing your membership, what it's going to look like. And I'll show you what each of these pieces are for sure. We've already gone through, when we did the first day of designing your membership, of me explaining to you guys the difference between the product-based membership and the offer-based membership. So we've covered that portion. Obviously, we cover, there's a lot of legal that goes into your membership site. And another piece that I think is really important is when people are leaving. That's also something that really gets overlooked in terms of, oh, well, they canceled. I want to make sure I just pull them out of everywhere. Well, that's great, but this is someone who has stayed with you for X amount of time. More than likely, they will come back, or they will refer a friend. So your leaving experience should be just as lovely as your onboarding experience. So obviously we address when members are leaving. And then these are just replays of workshops. And then we have some, just membership site Q&As. So the first piece that I want to walk you guys through is this concept of, is the membership model even right? Okay, so when you're in here, and I've already opened this up, but the mind map, and is anyone unfamiliar with mind maps? No, all good. Okay, so I love mind maps because they let you brainstorm your ideas and still keep things connected, still show how different pieces will fit together around a central idea. So this happens to be MindMeister. It's one of many programs. I like it because it's very user-friendly for me, and it easily embeds into Kajabi. I can share it with people, so that's a good thing. But when you're thinking about, is the business model right for you, you need to get really specific. So here, I've just listed out some of the things that I've learned over the years. Yes, sweetheart. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Okay, you need to ask Daddy. Okay, ask Daddy to talk to Kip. So here, this is one of the prompts, like listing out all the reasons that you might want to do a membership site. So, and I'll open this up to you guys. As you guys are thinking about it, what are some of the reasons that you want to start a membership site? Feel free, take yourselves off mute.
I'd like to start one because I'd like to be able to keep my resources for each client in a specific area. As I'm putting this together, I'm really liking it more and more, because basically where I was before I started with you was, hey, here's my free offer, go in and take this questionnaire. And now I'm looking at it going like, okay, now I can bring them in to their library. Hey, what is this questionnaire? Why should I take it? What would I get if my child is between this age and this age, or this age? Or what about myself? And here's some articles to prove the validity of the questionnaire. And like, I'm able to even give them more information that's personal about, like, hey, I want to inform you why you should take it. If you show up here and you don't take it, that's cool. But while you're here, there's a couple little bonuses just for stopping by.
Yep. Perfect. Organization, keeping things organized and easily accessible.
And it's also building that they get to know me, and my style and what I give away to them to help inform them. Like, I try to think, if I were on the other side of that, going like, okay, well, I don't even know anything about this. Why would I want to take it? How did I get in this membership, or, this library? Why did I have to get my username and get a password? Yep. I just want to take the thing,
Okay. Other reasons you guys are thinking about doing a membership model?
Okay, so I was looking at it for like courses.
Okay.
So I don't know if that would go here, or if it would go under the offers and products.
For
say different courses that might teach them different things that we already do, like teaching them how to do it themselves.
Are you selling access to the course? Meaning I pay $30 a month and I have access to this content? Or are you selling the course so that you purchased this for $50 and you own it, but you paid me one time?
No, like a monthly membership and you're always adding content to it.
Okay.
Different types of courses.
Yep.
I guess.
So
does that make sense?
Yep. Yep. So you want to sell content access instead of content purchase. Okay. They're very different. That's why it's the recurring charge is a business model. That's very separate from buy it once and it's theirs, but they're paying you one time. Or they might be paying multiple times. So so that's what this exercise is listing out all the reasons. You know, why do I want it to stay, which we're going to move to the next one. Sorry, I interrupted you, Tracy.
That's why I wasn't sure if it goes here. Yep. Or if the idea goes in the other one, and I wasn't here when you did that first one, so I haven't really, and I didn't go through it yet again. I haven't had a chance.
Nope, you're fine.
So that's just different than, say, you created a course and they learn how to do Pinterest or whatever, and it's one time only, and that's the only access they get. That's a different product all by itself, standalone.
No, the products can be the product can be the same. So for instance, the PBK library has it's 26, 27, something like that. There's different products in there. I could sell each of those individually, meaning they each have their own offer page. People pay for it individually. There's email sequences tied to each individual product.
Okay.
The content is exactly the same. I'm not messing with the content. However, my business model is I am not selling things individually. I am selling access to the entire library for a fee that they pay every month. So for $59 once a month, they get access to anything in that library. That's what a membership site or a recurring payment option is as a business model.
Okay.
Does that make so the content
Yes.
the content doesn't change. It's how people pay to either purchase it, meaning they paid once, it stays in their library, period, the end, or they're paying for access. When they quit paying for access, none of it's going to show up in their library anymore.
Okay. But they do have an option if they just want one course to pay for just one thing and have it in their library forever.
If that's your
Or no.
business model.
Okay, if you want to have it that way. Okay.
If that's your business model, yes.
So I like the way you're explaining it to me now, where they're paying access X amount every month, and then they have access to all these things, and
Mhm.
things are added all the time, or you get, personal attention.
Mhm.
Okay.
So when we're going through this, what you're trying to do is break the idea of, I want to have a membership site. The entire point is to try and say, to break it, to give yourself all the reasons why this isn't going to work. If you can't break it, then it's a good idea. But if we're going through this and suddenly you're like, oh, well, yeah, I don't want this and I don't want this. And yeah, that doesn't work. Then guess what? This is not the right business model for you, like for whatever it is you're trying to put together. So that's what I first do, is list out all the reasons. Some people, other reasons, recurring profit. I want, predictable money coming in each month. I don't want to market and sell all these courses individually. That was high on my list. I realized that to do it as well as I wanted to do, selling 26 courses individually was far more work than I had ever contemplated. I did not want that level of work, that time commitment in terms of managing and selling and marketing content. That was something I was not willing to do. It was the wrong business model for me. The content was great. If I shifted the model to a recurring payment, that did work very well for what I wanted to accomplish. So as you're, trying to break this, come on, scroll. Here we go. There we go. Now, okay, so you list out what your reasons are. And I'll give you some examples in just a second. And now you're going to write what is the specific counter argument or the specific point against it. So if I said, I want to keep resources for clients in a specific area in an easy way to access it, well, the opposite is disorganization. So for that one, you're like, okay, but there really is no counter argument. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. But if somebody said, here, list all the reasons, we'll hit here. Let's see. Very little time commitment. Then what I could say against that is membership is not very little time commitment. There are ways to be very smart about it, but you are managing relationships and you're managing stuff that goes into it. So if I was coming up with what's the counter argument how much time does it take to, let's say you have 500 people. Okay, let's say half of them have a customer service question, or half of them can't get on a Zoom call. So that, again, is going to be a little bit fluid depending on what you are doing. So here, here are some examples. So here, let's see. These are pretty common. Predict future revenue growth, because I know, okay, I have this many members, and this, you won't know your retention rate for a few months, like really up to a year. How many members, how many leave, how many come on, all of those factors are affected. Also, whether people can join anytime or whether they can only join at certain times of the month. Profit margins, let's see, consistent contact with your customer base, building a loyal customer base, flexibility for buyers. I really like, this was another reason why I chose this. It gave me more space to create what I needed. Instead of having to create a course and market it and all that went into it, when I saw the need, I could just create. So for me, the membership model gave me that ability to be very responsive to what was going on with the people that I, got to work with and have the privilege to interact with. So that gave me that freedom, because it wasn't, I got to build this, I got to make, prove the concept, I got to market it, I got to do this. The people are telling me, hey, we really want this, or I'm seeing the need for what they might be struggling with. So that for me was another big reason. I gave me more space to create. The personalization, when you're in a membership, you can personalize. Now, some of this goes, again, what kind of membership you're setting up, who it's going to be for, what it's going, what's the problem it's serving or the need that it's meeting, but you can personalize it. I do this a lot in PBK because I built it in such a way that the heavy lifting is handled on the stuff that Kajabi does really well, which allows me to have the time to answer questions personally, to audit, people's, sales page or their site. It let me have that level of personalization that I really wouldn't have had if I was just selling courses. Questions on that, or any ideas that have come up? Who already has a membership site? Anybody? I can't see everybody that's here. No?
I
I
don't.
do.
Oh,
Dave raised his
Dave.
hand.
Hi,
Hanson.
Dave.
Thought I'd pop in. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
Doing great.
Yes, Dave does. Dave has a very, very great membership site. He works with financial coaches. Oh, hey, Emily. You guys snuck in. Okay.
I did. I'm eating, that's why I'm not on video.
You're fine. You're totally good. You're absolutely good. Let me see over here. Okay. Does this concept make sense in terms of you're trying to think of, okay, here's all the reasons I want a membership site, and then as we go through this, like I said, stuff starts to a lot. Time is the big one that I hear when it's being marketed as, hey, your membership is like this easiest thing to set up and it takes, no time at all to run. It does take time to run. It absolutely. Dave, would you agree that membership takes time?
Yes, but it's very rewarding. And once you get it set up, it is very nice. However, it is not a set and forget type thing at all, if that's the term you want to use.
Yeah, it's not a crock pot.
Yes.
Takes lots of energy, but it's good energy. I mean, it really, there's nothing else I would rather do. I gain energy when I get to interact with all my PBKers.
Well, it took me a while to get it set up right. And what I like about the process that you're laying out is there is no one way to do a membership. It's about what's going to work best for your business. And once I figured out how to do that, now I get to spend my time serving in a way I like to serve versus the launches and all that other junk. I just get to go out and serve. Took a while to get there. And I wish I would have had this process when I started, but yeah, no, this is a great way to frame it. So good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to go back here and we are going to move. Just wanted to give you guys an idea on how I walk through it, because building it in Kajabi is that is not the hard part. When you, especially if you can ask questions and do stuff. The tricky part is knowing what is it that I'm designing, because exactly like Dave said, there isn't a one size fits all. And you start out with a framework, and then people come in and start interacting with you. And what you might have thought, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever, they're going to love it. And they don't love it. And you're like, oh, okay. But then something you never thought they would like is the greatest thing they've ever had, and they want 10 times more of it. That's the beauty of this business model. You can adapt. You can say, okay, I'm being responsive to what I'm seeing, what I'm noticing, even more importantly, where I'm not seeing anybody engaging. Like, you built this great thing and nobody says a word about it. They're telling you. It's not like either they don't understand it, which is entirely possible, because I make that mistake. Sometimes I think I've laid it out as well, all the steps, but unbeknownst to me, my brain hopped over like 3 steps. Like when we were talking about virtual summits. Thank you, Amanda, for asking me, what is a virtual summit? I just skipped right over that definition. So when this is where the designing piece comes in. So as you're looking at your membership, what is it that you're creating? And these are kind of the big buckets, and you'll have a mixture of these. So are you meeting a need? Are you solving a problem? Are you building or establishing a community? Or are they learning and mastering a skill? So really, when I see memberships, there's an element of all these parts that are coming into play. But it's really important when you're looking at yours and like, okay, this is what I want to create, that you know what it is you're doing. Okay, I am doing X for these people, and this is what I'm helping them accomplish. Because just like I join a gym or I join the membership program that my furnace company has, well, they are meeting a need. They are servicing my air conditioner and my furnace twice a year and changing the filters. Done, meeting a need. My membership to my furnace company is not really establishing a community. Nobody else on the block gets together and says, so how was your furnace change, filter change? Not that kind of a thing. So keep in mind, what are you creating? And then for me, the next natural extension is sit like you're talking to someone. And you can use, I use me as an example here, but what does it look like on a daily basis, your membership? Some are really active on a daily basis, others not so much. And that doesn't mean one is good and one is not good. There's different environments have different temperaments. So that's what you want to think about. And not every question that, will come into play, but as you're thinking about it, you're also thinking, okay, what is happening over the course of a week? What's going on? What kind of events do you have? What kind of posts are you doing? What's going on in this community that you guys are making? I also looking back at, if you were going to look backwards and say, okay, what made me really happy that happened in the past month? And as you're starting, you're dreaming this stuff up, but thoughts become reality. Plans come to fruition. So you dream this sucker up. You're writing it into existence so that you are putting all the pieces into play, and then you go and you build them. Like then you actually, put it into there. Here's a big one. Why do you invest so much of your time and energy into the group? Whoever's the host has got to love some aspect of it. It's got to bring you joy, fulfillment, intellectually, like something, because it really becomes your community. It really and truly does. How do you feel being a part of the group? Because you are, even when you're the host or the creator, you still become part of the atmosphere, for sure. So how does that make you feel when you're thinking about it? What would feel like without the group, without these people that you're spending your time with? And how long do you see yourself doing this membership? If you're like, hey, I'm going to do it for a year. Okay, it's fine to have an exit strategy, but you probably will be making very different decisions if you knew, oh, I'm only going to run it for 1 year or 2 years, and then I'm going to close it down, or I'm hoping to sell it to somebody else, which absolutely can come into play. Any questions as we're going through this stuff? All righty. Okay, so now the other part that we're going to think about is, have you ever been part of a group that you left? What have you canceled? What did you join and then leave? Write down your specific reasons why you left. Was it the wrong timing? Was it the people? Was it the experience? Was it the content? How did you feel about leaving? You're transposing all of that stuff onto how can you apply it to your group. So what did you join that you're like, I'm out of here? I've joined a couple of groups years ago, and I joined and I was all excited, and then I got in there and I realized, this is not for me. It was the wrong people. It was the wrong content. I didn't care for the host, all of those things. And so I can list those out and look at it from the perspective of, okay, what did I not appreciate about this? Is it something I could change so that that didn't happen as part of the experience in my group? So everything has a place, and we're just bringing it to the surface. Here, have you ever been a part of a group that you absolutely love? Why do you love it? What is it about that group? And it doesn't have to be something you're paying for. It can just be a group that you're affiliated with, that you participate with. But again, you're writing out all of this stuff because these will all come into play in terms of what kind of content you're developing, how often you're developing it. Are you using outside people to contribute content in such a way that it really is part of the business model? Are you having daily events? Are you having weekly events? Are you having monthly events? All of those choices definitely affect what you end up building in Kajabi, but you're making those decisions in the designing phase. Questions, thoughts?
It just seems very overwhelming.
Step by step, right?
Amanda, is it Kelly that you work with?
Mm-hmm.
Is she setting up a membership site, or does she want one?
We already have one.
Oh, okay.
And it's not really working. And so I'm kind of like, well, because of this, it's not really set up. It's there and she's promoting it, but no one's really taking advantage of it. So I think this is helpful because it lets me see, okay, how I need to set it up. But we already kind of have a lot of this laid out, but not as well laid out as this. It's already just laid out and we're just kind of throwing spaghetti on the wall. The way you're just like, throw it on the wall, just to see what sticks. I'm kind of like with Tracy, there's content that we'll give access to,
Mhm.
but can you not have both where, let's say you find someone who just buys one product, and I guess ultimately with that person, I guess your end goal would be, okay, how can I get them to become a member?
Mhm.
Or vice versa. If someone's a member, they may not have access to your New York City online course. Then what steps do you take to get them to becoming, you know, getting that big ticket course? You know, so that's kind of where I was like, I look at this and this is not my gifting, all of the laying it out stuff. I'm more of a get her done girl. So I'm trying to visualize how this turns into dollars.
Yep. So we'll do where we always start. North Pole to New York City. So North Pole, our cold traffic, which is our lead magnets. Lead magnet, which is when they opt in. Intro, which is typically our lower dollar. And New York City, which is typically your higher dollar. So if I'm looking at this, because it has to be part of the business model, is the membership here or is the membership here for you guys?
It's not really anywhere just yet because
Okay, so let's walk through putting it in both places.
yes.
Okay, so if I put the membership here, and let's say it's $50 a month. And let's put a different line. And we're going to put the membership here. And it's also $50 a month. So it's absolutely important if you want them, before anything can be a success in any business, it has to fit in North Pole to New York City.
Right.
It has to have a very specific way, or instead of being able to, well, here's your example of throwing spaghetti at the wall. Instead of being able to serve this amazing bowl of pasta that people keep coming in and wanting to sit down and eat, instead it's like their meal is all over the wall and they don't know what to do with it because you guys feel like it's just like, oh, we're just gonna throw this here and throw that there. So if you look at it and go, okay, our membership has to fit either as our intro product or as our New York City, then I could we'll use this one because this isn't easy. I could put a course here that is $50. Okay, so they could buy this course. They take it, they love it, it was great. Cool. Well, now, would you like to join the membership? And within the membership, typically, you're going to have content. Yes, I tend to replace my C's with K's because we only deal with Kajabi. So if you guys see me misspelling things, I just spell with K's instead of C's quite often. You have community. It's both of those pieces interchangeable for most members, for most recurring options. They could be just access to content. They could be just access to a group of people. That's why it's so important for you, the universal you, to decide in the designing phase, what is my membership? Like, what is going on in this space? I know PBK is business legal Kajabi. It is eliminate the overwhelm. And so simplify business legal Kajabi so that you guys amplify all of your results. Like, I know exactly what it is. In the midst of that, it's, yes, there's content, but the masterminding ability and the community, I now know, are far more important to people than the content aspect. Content is great, but they really they like being able to talk to each other and brainstorm ideas together. So course and then membership, or I could have the membership. If you guys had your membership here, what would this be? Like, what does she have for sale that would come after that?
She has built big courses. So she
Okay.
has 2 online courses. One's kind of a lower, like a middle price range, like 150.
Okay.
And one's a larger, like $9.95.
Okay. So if you're building out the membership, then it's a matter of knowing, okay, what goes into this at the $50 a month price point,
Yeah.
and when is this available for people to buy? How are you marketing this to them? And then it makes complete sense. Like, you could see how one flows into the other. Same here. I could have a lower priced course leading into a membership. I could also have a higher priced course. I mean, this could be the $9.95 course.
Which we've had some of those, and she almost feels like she wants to almost kind of use the membership as a way to keep them connected to the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just, okay, you buy the big thing and you're done. It's like, how can we continue to serve you?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the membership, it's kind of like memberships has its benefits
Mhm.
thing,
Mhm.
where they get access to private retreats, private workshops.
Mhm.
It's only accessible to membership. So
Mhm.
I think she wants to do both. I think she wants to kind of do,
Mhm.
because some
Yeah.
people, they go, no, I'm not ready for the big ticket. Let me get a membership, kind of build trust through some of the free content.
Mhm.
And she has a ton of free content.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where I've been trying to figure out how to lay it out in Kajabi.
Yeah, it will be forever incredibly difficult to lay it out in Kajabi until you guys know what it is you're trying to lay out very specifically in terms of this. Like, whatever is on the pathway,
Oh, gotcha. Like
if-
what content at what point?
yeah, if I don't know, okay, once they opt in, where do they go? If I don't know for a fact, yep, all my email sequences, all my marketing, everything is geared towards my intro offer, whatever that is, they're going to wander. I mean, it's going to look like
Yeah.
this is what it becomes. And then people say, oh, well, why am I not making money? Because that is much harder than this. It will be forever impossible to build anything in Kajabi. Like, the pieces won't make sense until you know what it is you're trying to get the pieces to do. So if I know, for instance, and I'll use, here, I'll do myself and I'll do it a different color. So here I have free product strategy. I have virtual meetup. They're all one and the same for me. PBK goes right here. It's the only thing you can buy. And then over here, I have my Blitz stuff. So I have Blitz Pack, which is a 1 to small group. I have Blitz Build, which is 1 to 1. That is very expensive. This is not so expensive. I know exactly where it goes. I know what content is in here. I know what access, in terms of the community is in here. I know the same thing over here. This is really access to me at a much smaller scale. But if I didn't know where the pieces were, I couldn't build anything in Kajabi, because you build one piece, but depending on what came before or after it, you'd then have to rip it out and rehook stuff up, which is where Kajabi gets very difficult for people, because they don't see how it has to follow North Pole to New York City. It has to go from an opt-in, where do I want you to buy, where do I want you to end up? So if I listening a little bit, it would be hard to build
Right.
if you don't know where the pieces are going to fit and what is going to go in each slot. It will be very difficult to build anything in Kajabi.
Well, I will say I started back in September. And since working with you, I've just went in and just deleted a whole bunch of stuff. So, it was a great learning lesson.
we like the, you know, delete is good. Delete is absolutely good.
Yeah.
But when you guys, like when she's looking at stuff, list out, okay, what is it that's going to go into the membership? And if the membership is a way to keep people connected, then it more than likely is the New York City. Once I've purchased the course, then if I want to purchase continued access in terms of staying connected, coming in here, that can be the membership. And there's different kinds, which we'll walk through. One kind that you can have is what I call the Costco membership. You know, Costco, I pay whatever it is, $120 a year, but all that lets me do is shop there. Like, that's all it's letting me do is shop there and pay Costco prices. You can have the same kind of thing where you have a Costco membership so that you have member pricing on your courses and non-member pricing on your courses. That is simply an access pass. I'm getting member pricing, but I'm not getting free groceries from Costco. Like, I'm not. If I spend enough money, I don't have to pay my annual membership fee, but that's because I spent so much money.
Right.
I'm not getting anything for free. I'm just being like, I can just shop at Costco. So this is also a membership, but it is really just a pricing membership. And you can have that. It works really well as a marketing technique for sure. And it gives you a little bit of residual income because they don't get the member pricing if they don't have the membership part. So that works. But the biggest piece is you got to know where it fits. Where is it, intro, or is it New York City?
So would something like the Costco be an intro, or would that be more like of a lead magnet? Because, you know,
No,
like Costco membership, super inexpensive in retrospect to like a long-term membership, I guess, or full access.
You can put your Costco membership wherever you want. So if you have Costco membership, think of that as a layer. So it is just layering over like a coupon would. So if I have Costco membership, meaning my members pay X price and non-members pay a different price, then in this column, it would really work best in this instance. I'd have a $50 member price and a $100 regular price.
Okay.
So it really is looking at what is it that you want to build? What kind of a recurring payment model do you want to manage? Do you want to host? And it's as you're going through let's go back to the designing portion. That's why it's so important. When I see memberships that are struggling, it's because they skipped this stuff. I mean, it is every single time. So here, it's what is going on in this membership? What are all the different pieces? And so we couldn't break the idea. So we go, yep, this recurring payment model is absolutely what I want as part of my business model. Cool. I know what the experience is going to look like. For myself, it really is a crazy amount of really, really smart people who want to change the world, who are, ethical, highly motivated, positive, family-oriented people, where if we were all at my home having a barbecue or coming over for dinner, but we're having great conversation, we do a lot of laughing, I know what I wanted it to look like. That's what I built. Very different than other people who were like, you know what, I want 10,000 members and I really want to show up and just teach a little bit once a month. Awesome. Both are equally great, but they're completely different experiences. Just like go to a mall and think of all the different kinds of stores that are there. You're building your store in the design phase. So then if we go, I'm gonna go back here. This is also really important. And this is one that is really so much fun to do. And that is your member stories. And this is thinking through what do you want people to say about your group? What do you want to be known for? What do you want it to be? Dave, who was on here, who's been in PBK for a few years now, he just made the greatest member testimonial for me last week. And it was exactly what I want people to say about PBK. And so as you're designing your community, your membership, whatever it's going to be, again, I don't rave about my Costco membership. I buy my groceries at Costco. It's a very transactional thing. That's my best example in terms of a very different membership than even being part of Peloton. I love my Peloton family. I love my bike. I love riding with my friends. I just gave another friend a tour of my bike because she's in Los Angeles and she and her wife are going to buy a bike. And I got all excited talking about Peloton, just like I get all excited talking about Kajabi. So here, you really want to go through who is the person that you want to serve? Why are they even going to join your group? What is going to keep them there? And as you're going through, it's not any different than if you've done a customer avatar experience type thing before. Exactly the same concept. Absolutely. Don't look at this and think, oh my gosh, there's magic pixie dust. No, it's like a normal customer avatar thing that you're going through. But you're writing all this stuff down so that you know, why am I doing this? The cool part is, guess what? All this stuff that you're writing down is what you use on your sales page. So all this work, which is work, I mean, it's putting it together. You're having to think through, you're having to okay, who do I really want to work with? Who do I not want to work with? Why are they going to come? Why are they going to stay? All of that becomes the copy for your sales pages, becomes the copy for all these email sequences that form the infrastructure. So all this stuff we're going to need as elements when we build in Kajabi, it's all getting taken care of as you're going through this stuff. And then here, this is, what do you want them to say? What do you want when someone's been a part of your group for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years? What do you want? What do you want their story with what you've created to be? Questions, thoughts?
I'll have to go back and watch what you just were talking about. Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, my husband got a call from his work and we've been waiting. They gave us 2 choices in the email and then they gave him a third one on the phone and we were like, wait, we weren't even thinking about that. So he had to call me and be like, wife.
Choices.
And I said, this is the training I wanted to see because I feel like this is my model. So yeah, I'll go back and just pop it in the group if I have a question.
Perfect.
But so far it's looking really good. Then that Mind Master, is that a free tool or is that just, do you guys pay for that?
Yeah, that's part of PBK. So it's from one of the courses that's inside the PBK library, which is PBK membership design.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect.
Yep. Lisa, Amanda, you guys, are you good?
So we haven't really paid for our membership yet. So when can we access this course so that we
This
can
one?
refer back to it? Yeah, with the membership design one.
Yep.
The
That one,
Meister.
if you join PBK on the 23rd, between the 23rd and the 27th,
Okay.
it's in your library.
Okay.
So that you can join anytime.
Nice.
That's when you can access it.
Yeah, because that I think
I don't sell it by itself anymore.
yeah, I think it's with this, it's like what you were saying. You kind of got to get into it and then go, oh, I need to pause because I need to work on this. Like you can sit and brain dump it all, but then until you start plugging in those pieces, this is what's really helpful because it's almost like you just laid out the groundwork where we don't have to do that anymore. Where before you go in and you get stuck and you have to stop and it's all this start, stop, and then you get frustrated. But having something like this just lays it out where you're like, cool, let me just map it all out. Because I started doing the emailing sequence and going through your checklist was so much easier than going, oh crap, what about events did she say? Oh, what do I got to do about automations? Like it just can get very overwhelming.
It absolutely does because there's so many pieces to it. I mean, it is, and it's where I know when I first came online and I really believed all the webinars I attended, oh, this is so easy and you'll have this set up and it'll be, my husband's laughing right now. You'll make $100,000 in like a week. Oh, you've been doing this for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years? Oh, okay. I just started and I'm going to need 10 tools that I need to go now purchase to make this. Yeah, I got peanut gallery over here. He lived through it, but there's so many pieces. And if you take them piece by piece, it absolutely goes easy. Like it goes much easier. And it becomes very rinse and repeatable. It really does. It becomes rinse and repeatable.
Yeah, your cloning thing was like brilliant. It saved so much time with creating those emails. And then they all look the same. They're all nice, very structured looking, but it took no time to just make those little minor edits. So thank you.
You are so welcome for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the little pieces that make it much easier. So the next, yeah.
I don't know where it fits, but one of the things that when I was in a membership with Kajabi, Kajabian, and I was paying a monthly fee of $77, and I didn't realize that when I quit the group, that I didn't have any more access to the recordings and the, like some of the, I could have downloaded those if I would have known. I mean, they were free for us to download and I could have kept all that, like in my library. So I don't want to leave a potential client with a bad taste in their mouth. Like, oh, I didn't get in, gee, I didn't even know that I wasn't going to be able to take everything with me. Where in that process would one kind of give, is that in the terms or, because most people don't read the terms, and I just, I was clueless. It was my first time and I was new to Kajabi. So
yes, you're going to handle it in your terms for sure, but you're really going to handle it in your copy in terms of explaining to people, gym, like something that's very easy for people to understand is a gym membership. Because when I join the gym, I go in, I can use the spin bikes and use the treadmills and use the ellipticals. But when I quit, I can't go in there anymore. And I had no expectation that I was going to take the treadmill home with me. I had no expectation that those weights were coming home with me. So in your copy, it's it's just explaining what it is. Some people will have where, as part of the cancellation process, that especially if you've done the offer-based membership, that they can purchase courses, usually at a discounted rate. So usually some kind of % off. But let's say you were part of the membership and you've decided, hey, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Then if the person has this set up, and again, you address it all in your copy, you might say, you know, as you're leaving, you can take 50% off one course. Like, was there a piece of content that you really liked? You could buy it and take it with you. So it is a member pricing. It's part of a cancellation feature. But yes, you want to make sure that you're very clear on what your membership is. Is it gym membership access, or, which some people fight tooth and nail trying to create, the magazine subscription model, which is unless you're a founder, it will be impossible because you would need unlimited products. But the magazine membership, where if I subscribe to HGTV magazine, my membership sends me all those issues of magazines. But I keep those issues of magazines when I cancel my membership. So that is a very different, the magazine subscription model. It's not a gym membership model. So it's when you're going through, and all this kind of stuff, yes, is on videos. Like, we're skipping over, like going straight to the mind maps, but it goes through. Are you going to do a Costco membership? Do you want a gym membership? Do you want a magazine subscription membership? It's being clear in your copy. Obviously your terms, nobody reads the terms, but people understand a gym membership. People understand a magazine subscription membership. So that's the easiest way to communicate to people exactly what is going on. Does that answer your question, Elise?
Yeah, it makes sense, but, and this person didn't do a good job of letting us know that, because, because myself and another practitioner were in it together. And I decided that I had enough of what I needed from that group. And so I elected to, stop, and she continued on. And that's when I realized that, I didn't think about going back and downloading some of the worksheets, or, because I thought, I'll just store them up there in the library. No need to download it on all my stuff. So she hung in there for a while, and I told her, I said, just so you know, before you click the button that you're not paying anymore, if you want anything, go get it. It's just sort of like the gym membership. If they give you a nice water bottle and you keep it in the locker there, you get to still take the water bottle with you, or maybe they give you a towel or whatever, you know what I mean? But if they said, oh no, you're done, if there's anything left in your locker, you can't even go get access to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and that's why these are all the questions that you have to think through when you're moving, like when you're starting this business model. It's no different than somebody who says, hey, I want to open up a sub shop, or I want to open up a nail salon, or I want to open up something else. Just because it's digital doesn't mean we have any less planning. It just means our planning is different. And so it's choosing our fonts, it's choosing our colors, like it's choosing the look of things. But if I'm opening up, like a physical business, I'm going to, open up a sub shop. Okay, where are my supplies? What are the hours that I'm open? Who's working that? What, are they throwing their own trash away? Are we taking care of the trash? Like, all of the same pieces that go into a physical business are no different. They're there's corollaries, but they're different in the sense that it's digital. And I think very often it gets skipped over. It gets glossed over. It gets turned into regurgitating someone else's model. Someone else's model is not going to fit you so well. Like, one size fits all the moo look is really not flattering on anybody. Like, one size fits all of anything. What are they? Like those cozy, whatever, hoodie blankets, whatever. I mean, those are not flattering on anybody. So it really is taking the basic building blocks, just like we do in Kajabi, knowing where our membership fits so that it's very clear what the heck it is we're building. I don't, this stuff over here, you can't even see it if you're not in PBK. I don't have to build sales funnels for it. I don't have to build email sequences for it. There is none of that for this stuff, because the only people that know it and the only people that can get to it, unless I decide to make an exception, which I do, but it's rare, they're all in here. They all know, like, and trust me. They've been with me for years, and they say, I need one-on-one help. When can I book a blitz build? I send them the question. So I don't build, like, there's nothing built in Kajabi except offer checkout pages. But that's what's right for my North Pole to New York City. If I had a different membership and I was going to sell, a course over here, then I probably would have email sequences so that as members are clicking and seeing the sales page, that I'm nurturing that relationship to get them to buy, the course. But that's why the design portion, just like if you were going to build your dream home, like, you might pick a picture out of the magazine, but you don't take that picture, stand in front of the land, wiggle your nose, and poof, the dream home exists. You get an architect, you get a builder, you get blueprints. They meticulously map out, okay, this room is this dimensions and these 2x4s and these electrical outlets. Like, they have very detailed plans to make the dream home appear, magically. That's what all this initial planning stuff does, so that you know exactly what to build when you get to Kajabi.
So when you're building your membership, and let's say you're on your landing page, can you not have all three options and let the client decide what they want? And, because like you pick the little pricing thing, and it's like, in this pricing, it's kind of like a Zoom, when you go to Zoom, it's got the 3 packages.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all membership, but I guess it's kind of, you lay out what works for them. So like if we go into that a little deeper, I guess.
Okay, so here we go. North Pole, lead magnet, intro, New York City. Okay, so you give me the examples of the 3 options.
So, I mean, I don't know, I'm just speaking hypothetically, but you have 3 options of membership. Like you said, you have a gym membership option, a Costco membership option, and like a magazine membership option. And they're all going to 3 be different pricing.
Short answer is no way.
No way.
No way. Those are very, very different builds. In Kajabi, you would need, even the most efficiently designed, keeping track of this, I would say a team no smaller than 6 to 10 people.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way. Those are such vastly different infrastructure hookups. And if you have 3 options, that means people can fluid move from one option to another. Oh, I had this option. Well, now I want to move to this or move to that one. These are they're completely different builds. There's no way. And if someone asked me, hey, I want you to build these 3 different kinds, I'd say pick your first one, like pick your favorite one first.
Okay.
We're going to build it and we're running it until it is meeting your metrics. And by that point, I will have been able to talk them out of the other 2.
So which one do you pick?
Oh, I pick gym membership all day and twice on Sundays.
Because the other 2 seem like they're going to be really difficult.
This is a pain in the rear. I won't build this for anybody because it quite honestly is ridiculous.
Because they keep stuff. They keep content.
Right, which means you have to have if I'm giving you an offer that's giving you access to a library, and then you buy 1 month, then that product is yours as if you bought a standalone course. So it is individual. It isn't the way that Kajabi is set up. It is not set up to run a 10 or 20-year magazine subscription model. No way. Like it is. And I've tried.
That just sounds so crazy.
I've tried to make it work. It is so much busy work behind the scenes that when I'm talking with someone, I'm like, seriously, do you really want to pay 2 or 3 VAs to keep up with this? Or could we just do a gym membership and you're not selling a magazine? Like you're selling access to your content. You're sending access to your community. You're selling access to you. This is not HGTV magazine, but they heard a webinar and someone said to do it. And so they kind of
So now
want
they
to
want to do it.
But when you start explaining the numbers to them of, okay, you're going to need a full-time person. How many people do you want to sell this to? Well, once you start crunching the numbers, they see that the time is not worth it. Where if we could just switch it, not do this model, do this model instead, they will have far more profit. I'm 100% on talking people out of the magazine subscription model.
I feel like that one's the gym one. I feel like is more common.
Yeah, gym is, I would say, one of the most popular ones, especially when it comes to online learning stuff, because I know I have access. Like even with Canva, I pay a yearly fee to access the tool. When I stop paying for it, I might still get their free features, but that's the equivalent of a lead magnet for them. All the free features in Canva are a lead magnet, 1000%. Designed to get you to buy the gym membership. Buy it from Canva.
And then a Costco one would be like there would be 2 different pricing tiers where if you paid for your membership, then you're paying like you said $50, and if you don't pay for the membership, the yearly fee, then it's more money for the same item, same experience.
Yep. The Costco one works when we're talking about digital products. That works well if you have a bunch of different products that you are selling individually. So member price is, I want to buy this product and I want to pay $50 versus $100. I want to buy this product, $50 versus $100. It also works if you're a service-based and let's say appointments have a member price of $50 and non-member is $100. So really a lot of, a hair salon, a lash artist, a makeup artist, if they wanted to create a kind of residual income, they could charge Costco, like you're joining my preferred pricing scheme. So every year for Costco, I pay my $120 so that I can buy my groceries at Costco. Every year at my hair place, I join for $100, whatever it might be. And each haircut is $50 or it's $100 if I'm not a member. Well, you figure you're getting your haircut maybe 6 times a year. So 6 times 50 is 300 minus the 100 to become a member. I've saved $200 by becoming a member, and they've made residual income. So you have to look at it from what is the membership that you're trying to make. So we go back to let's see if I have them all. I think I still kept them all open. Day 1. Yeah, right here. What is it? What am I creating? Am I creating Costco? Am I creating a magazine? Am I creating the gym membership? Am I creating a Birchbox experience? What is it that this is? Is this just access to people? Like you join the junior league or you join a professional association. Well, that means you get invited to the member events, but you still likely pay for many of those member events. Some of them might have an annual thing that's complimentary. So you're really just look to real life. What is it that you can say, oh, it's a lot like this? Or I would like an aspect of this and an aspect of this. I had to laugh, which my family's hilarious because even Chris can spot memberships now in a different way than before. We happened to be at Panera, gosh, a few months ago. And on the table, it was like, join the coffee club, $8.95 a month and your coffee's free. I was like, finally, you guys are getting smart. Like, finally, like charge a recurring payment. My car wash. I mean, my life lives on subscriptions. Netflix, Amazon,
Yep.
Hulu, car wash, Costco. I mean, my the furnace company, heating and cooling, like everything in my world is an access to something. You can take all of that, but when you're trying to create your membership, especially when you got to hook it up in Kajabi, you've got to know what it is you want so that you can build the right thing in the right order in Kajabi, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Any questions on this stuff? We'll keep going through this, but let's see what the other, yeah, we could start with the brain dump. We could start with that tomorrow. Because this is really your content, your calendar, your content creation. What are you doing? And this is an experiment. Like here, this is just one example. So like week 1, you have a master class. Week 2 is a behind the scenes. Week 3 is a step-by-step tutorial. And week 4 is a live session Q&A with you. I have tried all of these formulas exactly like Dave said, and it's what I will say. There is not one size fits all. You have to know what is it for what you're creating and make that. There is no magic formula. I don't have, which drove me insane. When I see a need, I make the content. When I see the need, I provide the solution. And according to like the formulas of the gurus, it was like, well, no, you should do one thing a month. I was like, so I'm going to wait 6 months to give them this content because I have it's ready today. So I was like, throw that sucker out the window. We have a need. I make the content. I don't, so some months you might be like, which I don't think it's ever happened. But I might not create like a big piece of content because nobody needs it. Like I'm just creating content as busy work. That to me didn't make any sense. The same thing with a once a month Q&A. It would drive me insane. At a bare minimum, I have 3 weekly calls a week at a bare minimum. And most of the time, because I've invited you guys to a lot of the stuff, like we have co-working, we have some extra stuff, and our normal calls. So this, one live Q&A with me, not in my group, not happening. But it might be perfect for somebody else's group. So that's the part where you're thinking through, where is it? Because whatever it is, you're going to want to send reminders. You're going to want to send emails out. So all of these, like, is it an email sequence or is it an event? For some things, I use events. For other things, I use scheduled broadcasts because I know what it is I'm delivering. And it's just a matter of brain dumping it out. So like I use this example. I probably was sitting in a coffee shop when I wrote all this stuff. I'm positive I was. but it's like, what's on the menu at Starbucks? What are they, deciding to serve and not serve? I can't order deep dish pizza at Starbucks. Not yet. They made that decision. They're not serving deep dish pizza. They're serving scones and sandwiches. And thankfully now they do serve some like hard boiled eggs and cheese and cold cut meats, which is more my speed these days. But that's our content. That is what are we putting together to give people access to when they're part of the membership. Is this helping?
A lot.
Okay, good.
Yes, yes. I've never looked at it this way. It's like light bulbs going off.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
I mean, it's a lot to consume, but there's a pattern and there's a road, that you got to follow, and you're helping me to see it.
Awesome. Awesome.
Will you also be showing this, like getting into Kajabi and going behind the scenes and showing us how to, once we've decided why we're doing it and all these things, that's where I need the help is, I think I've mostly figured it out, but I just want to make sure my path is correct.
Yeah. So as you guys are making decisions, be writing them down, because when we go into Kajabi, I'll just use your examples. You can tell me, I want to do this, 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 and I'll show you exactly what to do in Kajabi.
Okay.
It is impossible. Well, no, it's not impossible. I don't want to confuse people. And if I go in and show you all the different ways you can add up to 12 before
Right.
I really only want to use big numbers and I don't want to do division, Tamsin. Cool. Guess what? You are dealing with 1 and 11, 2 and 10, 9 and 3. Someone else says, oh, I love division. I want to do 144 divided by 12 or divided by 2, carry a 1. Like, you have to know what it is you're trying to do. And then we go in and say, perfect. You're going to have a monthly call. Great. You know what? Let's use events for that monthly call that you're going to have. You're going to need to send 3 emails leading up to it. Perfect. Let's put those in under events versus someone that says, you know what? I'm going to have a call, but I don't know it's going to be on the same day at the same time all the time. Perfect. We're going to use scheduled email broadcasts because you'll run into the event working against you. I want to have 1 product versus I would like to have 3 products. Okay, how are they going to know which door to go into? So if you guys start coming up with your blueprints, like this is what I want, this is what I'm trying to do, then yes, as we get to those pieces, I'll absolutely show you exactly what to do in Kajabi. Otherwise, it's me vomiting ideas on you. Not helpful. So not helpful. Would win me,
But
as
they
friend-
really are. Your ideas are very helpful because it's almost like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. And it really helps you just kind of see a different perspective. Because I think sometimes we get in this and we're so tunnel vision. And it, like with what you've been doing each week, it just kind of gets us to step back a little bit and go, oh, wow. Okay. And it's been very helpful. I'm
so glad. If my frustration over the years can make yours less, I am very happy.
Thank you.
I'm very happy. Well, we'll pick up, and you guys ask me anything you want in the group. Just pop them in there. But yeah, if you can, like Amanda, if you can nail out what's the North Pole in New York City, what kind of membership are you guys thinking about? If you guys can have that on paper that you can easily tell me so that I can write it down, okay. Then we'll start popping into Kajabi and saying, this is how I would address this piece. This is how I would address that piece. Then you'll have a bucket to put the information into versus, well, you could do, and here's how you might do. All that does, it just keeps things too fuzzy. We don't want fuzzy. We want very specific.
Okay.
architect building the dream house. It's not like, well, we're kind of going to put a wall there. How high is it? How thick is it? Is it load bearing? Does it have a window? Does it have a door? Is there plumbing in it? Is there electrical in it? That is what we have to know. Or it's the equivalent of like pitching a tent in the front yard, not building the dream house. And most people want their membership to be their dream home, like supporting them long-term, fulfilling them long-term. So we will pick up with like the brain dump stuff, and then whatever concrete stuff you guys come up with for your own memberships. And then we'll start working through that again tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You
Thank
are
you.
so welcome.